Hey guys, today we'll understand the Elementor classes using a real client website as an example. I created this site few days ago and I think you'll learn many things about classes for building a professional client website. So first, what is actually Elementor class? A class is simply a collection of style that we can apply to multiple elements. When we edit that class, every element using that class can update at the same time. Basically, classes stores your styles. It can store color, typography, size, spacing, basically everything of an element. Then it can apply the same styling to other multiple elements at the same time. For example, I have 3 buttons. These are all currently unstyled. I just dragged and dropped the buttons here. Let's select a button and we can go to the style and we'll get the classes, right? So on the classes, we can see the local is active. Local means specific for the element you're selecting. I'm selecting this, so everything I'm gonna do in the local will just gonna affect this button, not the other ones. Like if I go to background, make the background red, this button will be only red. But if we make an universal class, just click on here to type in the class. You can name your class anything. Naming doesn't matter, so I'm just typing site button and you can click on create site button. The class will be created and this class is being selected here. You can go back to the local to style locally, then you can select that specific class to add styling on that specific class. Like if I choose the background color orange, then I open the typography, make the text color black. So this site button class is storing the text color and the background color. So if I select any other element, go to the style and simply select the site button class I have created, this button will also have all the styling this class is storing, the typography, color, and the background color. Super simple, right? No matter in how many elements you add the class, everything will be the same. Now, one important thing, you can choose any element. You can choose this, this, or this. I'm choosing this, for example. And as long as the site button class is selected, you can always change the styling inside it. Like if I turn the background color to pink, all the buttons will be pink because the site button class is in all the element, right? So you can say every button is now connected. But if I don't select the site button and just select the local, we can specifically change the background color of this element, you see? So this is the fundamental of class, but I'm going to show you a practical example for how to use classes on buttons, on real site buttons. I'm going to delete the last 2 buttons and keep just one. So let's say I nicely stylize this button. Like I made this nice button with some shadow effects and all, borders. So in a website, you usually have multiple types of buttons, right? One primary, one secondary, one accent style buttons. Let's say I want to make a button like this as my secondary button. It has no background, but a border. So simply what I do, I drag and drop a button first. It's unstyled, but from the style, if I choose the side button, it instantly gains the style of the side button. So the side button is having the base style. It's having the roundness of the button. It's having the spacing and padding margin of the button. But I want to make this button a different button. So I can take a different class. I can call it transparent button. Okay. Then we can go to the background and remove this background. Instead, we manually select the color. We just make it transparent, right? Then we can go to typography, make the text color a black color. Then go to the border. We add a border like 1 pixel, border color a black color, and we want to remove the shadows. So we go to the effects. And because the side button is having the box shadow, we can see the style origin here. So we have to override this box shadow. We click on it, and if we just make the color transparent, it's just removing all the shadows from this transparent button. And this looking like this. So what's happening? This button is using all the necessary styling like padding margin, size of the button, size of the text in the button. But from the transparent class, I'm removing the shadow and removed the background. So from now on, to make a primary button like this, all you have to do is add the button and select the side button style. It will be like this. And to make a button like this from now on, you add a button, select the base side button, and with it, select the transparent button. Now you won't have to manually style the buttons from scratch. It saves a lot of time. So this button example was a really simple and basic example. Now I'm going to show you a real example on a real site, how classes can be super useful on complex sections like this. So let's say this is a tab, right? By clicking on each tab, all the content is changing, as you can see. And inside it, we have some points with an arrow, you see? 5 tabs has 5 groups of points. All the text are different, you see. Now, if I want to make the whole section responsive, let's say I go to tablet, or let's say go to the mobile mode. In the mobile, you can see the text and icon is looking bigger than it should be. So normally what we do, we select the text specifically, go to the typography, change the size to maybe 15 pixel, then change the line height to 18 pixel to just to make the text better looking in mobile. Then also we select the icon, we go to the size and decrease the size like this, right? Now I have just changed one item inside of this group. How many items we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I have to go to each 6 items and manually change the text size and the icon size. And not only that, each groups have different groups of items like this. You have to go to 4 tabs and change around 30 items manually like this, or 60 items manually like this. Without the class, the most you can do, you select the text, you right click, copy, and then you right click on the other text, and then you paste the style. And this text is having all the values of this text. Then you again select this text, click on paste style. You select this text, paste style, but this is still not efficient. You also have to change the icons, right? You have to right click on the icon, copy, right click again and paste the style. So can you imagine how many clicks you have to do? Because we have the other tabs. But using the class, let's say I undo. So if these text had a class, like for example, I created this tab point text. And if I select other text, you'll see this class is common among all these paragraphs or text. Then if we select the icon has tab point icon class. This class is common among all the icons on all the tabs. Now, if I just select the text, then select the tab point text, then just go to the typography, make the font size 15. See what happened? All the text is having the same font size. Then if we select the icon, and after selecting this class, if we make the width 19 pixel, all the icon is having 19 pixel width for this icon. Without using the class, it was like 20 minutes work, and now it is just 10-second work. You see how practical and useful these classes are. But we need to be careful with the classes. It can sometimes mistakenly mess up with the design. Sometimes what happens is, let's say, on this section, right? This is a section. Specifically on this section, I wanted some gaps on the bottom. I select this one. And we have a class called main container. This main container is a common class among all the main sections. All the section has this main container class, you see. So sometimes what happens, I mistakenly select this main container. And if I need a gap on this section specifically, I go to the spacing and let's say add the margin 100 pixel on the bottom. So it normally adds 100 pixel on the bottom, you see, the gap is more now. But because I selected this main container mistakenly, all the section is having this unwanted gap on the bottom. So this can lead to really ugly situation on designs. So you have to be careful if you want to add anything specifically on a specific section. Don't select this. Don't select any common section. Just select the local. and then add the margin bottom or anything you want just for this section. By the way, we want to remove this margin from this class, and only this section is having margin bottom 100 pixel. Other sections are not having this. Alright, so this is how classes work in Elementor. This is super useful on different scenarios of design. I have a full 5 hours tutorial just on Elementor 4, how classes work, how variable works, components, AI widgets, and how to turn the whole website into a professional client-ready website. You can check that video out. And like we always say, mastering skills like these are just one side of the game. The other side of the game is getting clients, actual clients for yourself. So if you think you have mastered enough skills and you're finally ready, we have a freelancing mastery course. Jim Fahad, who brings most of the clients for our agency, will teach you how to turn all of your skills into an actual freelancing career. If you're interested, you can check that out. Link is in the description. So that's it for today, guys. If you want more explanation videos like this, just comment "need more Elementor explanation." I'll keep bringing quick, useful things like this. And don't forget to watch this video if you want to fully master Elementor skills. We'll meet again. For now, take care.